Ragnarok hitting the big screen, I figured I should do a ranking of all the MCU movies to date. Now there's 16 of them. I'm only going to be doing 16 through 9 today, so let's get to it. Number 16, Thor: The Dark World. I'll be upfront. I don't think any of the MCU movies are bad. However, this would be the closest we get to that. Sure, Thor: The Dark World has its fun moments, including a hilarious fight scene where Thor's hammer can't seem to find Thor. But when all is said and done, it's incredibly forgettable. It has the worst villain by far, and to really make things bad, the most memorable scene of the movie is a tease to Guardians. Number 15, Thor. Yup, both Thor films come at the bottom. It's strange. I do find myself liking a lot of the humor in these movies, but the action is always standard, and the romance between Thor and Jane is among the worst in the Marvel films. One plus side this film has over its sequel, though, is that it at least feels complete, because Dark World felt very rushed and incomplete. Also, this one had a better villain, as well as Les Darcy, who is honestly the most annoying character in the MCU to date. Number 14, The Incredible Hulk. Probably the most forgotten MCU film, The Incredible Hulk has its cool moments, but it just never stands out. The Hulk action is cool. I'll even admit to thinking the villain was pretty decent, but everything else is passable at best. It's funny because despite the previous Hulk feature being worse overall, the concept is actually more interesting in that one than in this one. Still, this film has its fun moments, it's not a drag, but it definitely earns a spot towards the bottom. Number 13, Iron Man 2. I know a lot of people like to put this one down, but it's actually got some good points. Downey Jr. is great, obviously, but there's a lot of good stuff besides him. John Favreau is a lot of fun as Happy, Black Widow has a cool action scene, and Don Cheadle proves to be a good replacement for Terrence Howard. Perhaps the most underrated aspect of the film is the addition of Sam Rockwell as Justin Hammer. He's a fun foil for Tony, acting as an evil, greedy version of Tony. He lacks all the style to back him up, as well as the skill to pilot an iron suit, which makes him a fun villain to watch. Where the film does fail, however, is the addition of Mickey Rourke. He's fine, but you can tell he was added on just to have an actor fight Iron Man. Justin Hammer's drones would have probably worked better overall. Plus, all the Avengers teasing and unnecessary information like the new element Tony creates makes the film an occasional slog. Number 12, Iron Man. I know a lot of people like putting this one higher up, but I'm sorry. Being the first does not make it the best, or even one of the best. There's a lot of good acting on display. Robert Downey Jr. was like a breath of fresh air upon the release of this film. Even Jeff Bridges as Obadiah Stane is pretty fun, even if he's pretty forgettable overall. Also, yeah, that end credit stinger with Nick Fury is still one of the most awesome the studio has ever produced. If there's one reason that this is low, is that it's incredibly restrained. I get that it's because it was the first film, so a lot had to be held back, but the film being as grounded as it is just feels lacking after some crazier films in recent years. Number 11, Captain America: The First Avenger. Everyone loves to overlook this one, but Captain America: The First Avenger is a real gem among the early Marvel films. Optimistic, fun, and offering one of the more underrated villains in the franchise. It's a really good time. The film also features a really fun song from Alan Menken, which keeps you in that 1940s serial style, which is the film's greatest strength. Also great, Peggy Carter, who is still the best love interest in these movies. There's a reason why she got her own show. Number 10, The Avengers. Again, I know a lot of people like ranking this one higher, but I just can't. It's a ton of fun, but it's also so basic. The action is of course spectacular, with the character moments being some of the funniest, but the movie doesn't have much weight behind that, which is forgivable because it really was the first of its kind, but revisiting it years later does highlight the hollow feel of it. Still, Loki's a lot of fun, the team is great, and the film is iconic. Number 9, Avengers: Age of Ultron. While a lot of people like to put Age of Ultron as one of the bad ones, and in fairness I get why, I find the substance in it to be pretty strong. Yes, the movie was clearly cut pretty badly. I'll even admit that Ultron's plan is pretty stupid, but the charisma brought in by James Spader is a ton of fun, and his final scene in the movie is one of the most mature sequences in any of these movies. Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch are also fun new additions to the team, while Hawkeye and the Hulk are fleshed out a bit more, which helps. If there's one major downside, it's the scenes that were cut. Sure, the movie would have been longer, but the cut material seems like it would have made the movie so much better. Still, the stronger character moments, the more substantial plot, and of course that awesome Hulkbuster scene, make this one a stronger entry than its predecessor, as far as I'm concerned. And that's the end of part 1. We'll do the rest next week. Until then, I hope to hear what you guys think was more fitting of these spots. Hope you read again soon, and see you then. Did you enjoy this video? If you did, please support me on Patreon. Also, feel free to subscribe to this channel. I will be making more videos, so don't miss out on those.